there, and welcome to yet another online math lesson. This lesson is called Negative Exponents and goes with lesson 9-4 in your textbook, page 486. Definitely going to want a calculator. You know, I say that every time, so maybe I shouldn't say that anymore. You always want a calculator and pencil and paper. Take some notes, okay? This is an interesting lesson today. I don't expect it to take very long, but it is interesting nonetheless. Negative exponents. Well, this is an interesting topic, one that I personally think is kind of fun to do. Let's read what it says here about negative exponents and how we're going to work with them. Since really in math, negative exponents aren't very useful, really. They're a little difficult to work with, so what we're going to do is we're going to learn how to take a negative exponent and turn it into a positive exponent. And it's actually a very simple thing to take care of. So here's what it says in blue. A negative exponent can be turned into a positive exponent simply by writing it as the denominator of a fraction with a numerator of 1. Oh boy, that sounds confusing. Well, it really isn't. You're about to see. I have an example here in red. We have 2 with a negative exponent on it. 2 to the negative third power. So, grab a blue color here. There's our negative exponent. 2 to the negative third power. Oh boy, what does that really mean? Well, it really means 1 over 2 to the positive third power. Looky there. So we sent that guy down to the basement, right? Down for, like he had to go downstairs for a little attitude adjustment or something like that. We don't like negative exponents on our numbers. And the way that we can turn that into a positive exponent is by sending it to the basement for an attitude adjustment. So we send our 2 to the negative 3 downstairs, down to be the denominator of a fraction. And when he goes downstairs, it's like he loses his attitude, and now he's a 2 to the positive 3, or the positive third power. So, but you have to have a numerator, right, on that fraction, so the numerator becomes a 1. And if I really wanted to carry this out even further, technically speaking, this is 1 over, what is 2 to the third power? 8. 1/8. That is actually the final answer. So can you believe that 2 to the negative third power is really the fraction 1/8? And if you wanted to take it a step further, you could take 1 divided by 8 and you could even turn it into the decimal that it represents. So 2 to the negative third power is really a decimal. It's a very small number. It's less than 1. Okay? So remember, we're giving out attitude adjustments in the basement, right? We're going to send these things down to become the denominators. We can go down there and have their attitude adjustments. Here we go. Here's 3 with a negative 5. That negative 5 needs an attitude adjustment down in the basement. So send him down below where he can change his attitude a little bit and smack a 1 on top. So there we wrote that as a positive exponent. Instead of 3 to the negative 5, we can call it 1 over 3 to the positive 5. I like it. How about this guy? Y to the negative third power? The rules don't change. It's 1 over y to the positive third power. Can't go any further with that because we don't know the value of y. Oh, wait a minute. 2 to the power of 0. How do I write that with a positive exponent? 0, if you remember, is not positive and it is not negative. Do you remember a couple lessons ago we talked about anything to the power of 0? Do you guys remember? Any number to the power of 0 is 1, which incidentally does have a little positive exponent of 1 on it. So that's how you would handle that situation. Interesting. I told you that was going to come back to haunt you from time to time. Let's do some more work with negative exponents. These directions say write each fraction as an expression using a negative exponent. So if I look here at 1 over 4 to the positive 2, I don't see a negative exponent. Yeah, I realize that, right? That's because we sent him to the basement for an attitude adjustment. But now we're going to undo that. What would this look like before we sent the 4 to the basement for the attitude adjustment. How could we write this with a negative exponent? Well, you bring the 4 with 2 out of the basement, right? Bring him back upstairs. And there he is again with his bad attitude, right? 4 to the negative 2. There he is with a negative exponent. So what would you do with 1 over 6 to the third? It would become 6 to the negative 3, right? It comes out of the fraction, and when it does so, it then has a negative exponent. Oh, look at this guy. 1 over 25. I don't even see an exponent there. Well, wait a minute. What do you remember about 25? Isn't 25 5 to the second power? So now, instead of 1 over 5 to the second power, now we can write it with the negative exponent, right? Bring that guy up out of the basement. There he is, 5 to the negative 2. So that one's like a two-stepper. The next one is just like that. 1 over 100. I need an exponent there. I need something that tells me what has been raised to a certain power to get to 100. I hope you know. 10 to the second power, right? Isn't 10 times 10 100? Okay. Well, let's show it with a negative exponent on that 10. There it is. You bring him up out of the basement, it's 10 to the negative 2. So when you send it to the basement, the negative goes away. When you bring it up out of the basement, the negative on the exponent comes back. Okay? We're almost done, believe it or not. Evaluate. You guys remember that evaluate means solve, I hope, by now. Evaluate each expression. So we're going to be solving these things all the way. Ready? Here we go. M to the negative 2 power if M is 4. I'm going to rewrite that, and instead of putting the M, I'm going to put the 4. So M to the negative 2 really means 4 to the negative 2. Can't have that. Send them to the basement. 1 over 4 to the positive 2. Well, we're getting there. But you can solve that one step further. What is 4 to the positive 2 power? Or 4 squared? Or 4 to the power of positive 2? It's 1 over 16. And you can stop at that point. What about the next one? 6 times m times n to the negative 4th power. Who has the exponent? Just the n. So he's going to go down below. So check this out. The 6 can stay. The m can stay. But n to the negative 4, no. He goes downstairs and becomes a positive 4. Okay, did you follow that? Now let's plug in our numbers. 6 times m, and m is 4, over n, which is 3, to the 4th power. Got your calculator handy? I hope so. I told you you're going to want it. Up on the numerator, 6 times 4 is 24. Down in the denominator, 3 to the 4th power is not 12, right? It's 3 times 3 times 3 times 3. It gives us 81. And if you're good at simplifying fractions, awesome. If you're not, you better plug that thing in your calculator and see if it simplifies. Because it does. It becomes 8/27. You can divide both of those by 3. 2 more, I think. If memory serves me correctly. Yep, 2 more. Okay, 3 to the power of x. And x is negative 3. So it's going to be 3 to the power of negative 3, right? I just substituted in. Bunk, right there. That's not allowed, that 3 to the negative 3. Where does he go? Down to the basement. Get your attitude adjustment. And what is 3 times 3 times 3? 27. So it's 1 over 27. Last one. 8 times y to the negative 4th power, and y has a value of 2. So just the y has the negative exponent on it, so where are we going to send him? I hope you know, because I'm kind of getting tired of saying it. Send him down to the basement. Now he's got a positive 4 on him. Now let's plug in our value for y. Y is 2 to the 4th power. 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 is 16. And 8 over 16 is 1/2 when simplified. Yay! Well, that was like your crash course of working with negative exponents. And they belong in the basement for their attitude adjustments. So there's the assignment we're going to be working on in class together. And I am putting a hint on here about number 30. If you want to give these a shot before you come to class, you're certainly welcome to try. You don't have to, but you can if you would like to. And I will see you in class.